Welcome to Digital Marketing Intelligence Ask the Experts, a live bi-weekly show to help you know what to do and what's new in digital marketing for 2021 and beyond. Ask questions, suggest topics, and grow faster with actionable insights and proven strategies from the world's leading experts. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Digital Marketing Intelligence Ask the Experts. I'm Marissa Morgan, your show host and business development manager here at Engage. On behalf of myself and the entire team at Engage, welcome to today's show, where our topic is finding out what you're missing when you've listened to all of the LinkedIn pros and you're not getting the business that you expected online from LinkedIn. We're going to discuss that topic in just a moment, and be sure to stick around for the end of the show. After our talk, I'm going to bring to you our Engage Digital Marketing News of the Week. So you don't want to miss it. Make sure you stick around to the end of the show for our News of the Week. Before we get started, I want to mention that all of this valuable information is brought to you by Engage. I think that you'll agree in today's market, which is super competitive, the key differentiator for all businesses is customer experience. Am I right? Happy customers buy more, they convert faster, they return less, and they remain loyal. So, how do you provide your customers with the best possible customer experience? First, you make it convenient to communicate with them and for them to communicate with you. And second, you give them reasons to trust your business. This is where you'll want to check out the Engage platform. It is the world's only free forever suite of over 25 different tools that are all engagement focused. They allow you to totally optimize your customer experience to help your business grow faster and more profitably. Building trust with Engage is a snap, as is building that customer experience. So let's go ahead and start the show. And let me let you know that obviously today we're discussing what to do when you've done everything the LinkedIn pros have recommended, but you're not getting the business that you expected from LinkedIn. And our guest is Karen Tisdell, who's joining us all the way from across the pond in Australia. Karen, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here.
Thank you so much. If you don't know Karen Tisdell, you need to. An early adopter of LinkedIn, Karen recognized the platform's potential when she was working as a recruiter. So, foreseeing the importance of how business leaders are perceived online, Karen began her LinkedIn profile writing business. A decade later, she is ranked as one of the top independent LinkedIn trainers across Asia Pacific and has facilitated training for some of the biggest tech companies in Australia, while writing profiles for smaller businesses and startup companies really around the world. Today, she's here to help you understand what your LinkedIn profile is missing and what you can do to change that to get the business that you expect from LinkedIn. So I'm going to give Karen the microphone, let her introduce herself. And Karen, I know you got into obviously LinkedIn via recruiting, and now you are a huge LinkedIn coach. You help people write their profiles. Tell us all a little bit about that transition for you and your career path now.
Well, I started using LinkedIn as a recruiter in 2005. That long ago. So I sometimes train on stages and people will say, 2005, wow. I wasn't born until 2009. I'm like, yeah, I've got sweaters older than you. I'm based in Sydney, Australia. So, I think you gave me a really great introduction. I write profiles, but I also train people. I really like what Engage is all about, because for me, it's all about building touch points. When we look at Facebook compared to LinkedIn, you've got a lot of people who use Facebook for entertainment, but they go to LinkedIn for business, So LinkedIn is, that's where we go when we really want our business problems solved.
Mhm.
So you've got a lot of B2B buyers there. And, I think it's a really great place where you can really position yourself. And unlike Facebook advertising, it doesn't cost anything to put
Mm.
free content out on LinkedIn. So you're looking at no cost. And it really increases your touch points with your customers. It's all about how you make your customers feel. And it's all about reminding them who you are and reminding people who the faces are behind your brand. Whether you've got a big business or a small business, people do business with people. So building your personal profile and the profile of your sales teams and, and your senior leaders really lets people show behind the curtains, who are your people, what do they stand for, how do they do business, what's it like there. And I think in a society that's so values driven now, people are buying into businesses that really share their values. So that's why I think it's really important on LinkedIn to make sure that you're really sort of showing up and really showcasing that.
That's a really great point, Karen, because the idea that people buy people and not products is a common thread that I'm learning and hearing, whether someone is in the retail business or the technology space, or, maybe they have a service like a coach or a consulting service. It's very interesting, but it's very true. People want that personal connection. And that is why building customer experience and optimizing customer experience is so incredibly important today, especially as things become automated and technology continues to change the way that we do business, right?
Especially, when you talk about automation and chatbots, and a lot of people, they're still yearning for that people-to-people connection. Your show, Engage has got an amazing brand, but you mentioned somebody who's been on every single show. He attends every show. He's there right from the beginning.
Mhm.
But it's also because you're such a great presenter, Marissa. You're in many ways the face of Engage, you're the voice of Engage. So if we had a little avatar, a little cartoon of you, it wouldn't be half as engaging to watch you, because people connect to people on a very human to human level. I often think we've got more in common with dogs than we do cats, where we're group animals. People want to really connect with each other.
Right.
So that's why I think LinkedIn is such an important platform for really showing behind the scenes and really showing who your people are and showcasing that.
The fact that we're having a tech difficulty today with LinkedIn, and for some reason this not posting, just goes to show us all too, you have to be ready to pivot, right?
Yeah.
Technology is just that. It's not a human. And even though sometimes people expect there to be guarantees with technology, technology doesn't always show up, you know what I mean, to work as we expect it to. So being ready to pivot is great. And again, we're doing our best to kind of show everybody over to Facebook right now for our show. And we're also live on YouTube as well. I might just take a moment, Karen, and post a link to share with everybody. But I think it's so interesting that your background, again, started with recruiting and now you're really helping people stand out online. I want to ask you, what is really the most common problem that your clients are coming to you to help solve? Is there just kind of one thing that kind of threads through all of your clients, the same problem, or do different clients in different industries have different needs and problems that they need help with?
I think we've all got the same issue, and that's around growing business. How do you grow business on LinkedIn? How do should you just put out content? Is a matter of just improving your LinkedIn profile and then suddenly you'll get hundreds of clients come your way? How do you actually build business here and get those messages to the point where clients are saying, okay, what are your fees? I want to buy from you. So I think everybody's got that issue around growth. You can never have too many customers. You can never have too many clients. So I think, it is a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of improving your profile. It's a lot of direct messaging. It's important to create content. And I know you're keen to talk about that today Marissa, but I think it's also important to make sure that you are direct messaging people and that you're not just connecting with people and then hitting them up with a sales message. You really want to slowly build those relationships through direct messaging,
Right.
and also supplement it with creating content. And I think having a direct messaging strategy where you're sending people a link to a podcast that you listen to, or hey, you know, I heard Engage did a LinkedIn Live and it was really interesting. It was about this topic. Here's a link there where you can watch the recording, and it's specific to those types of people. You know, you're actually targeting people and you're sending them messages that look very specific to that person, and it's very helpful. And doing that give. So sending them a podcast, a copy of a recording, leaving them voice messages. A lot of people don't realize that on LinkedIn Mobile, you can leave people voice messages.
You left me my very first voice message, and I had no idea that was a feature. I really had no idea. So that was very, very unique.
And how did it make you feel?
Well, it made me feel like I am not up on the times, which is crazy because I think I know a lot about all of these different platforms, but it also made me think, wow, like Karen's not afraid to really connect. You know, some people these days, you know, they almost hide behind the computer, they hide behind the text. And I use the word hide very lightly because I don't want to, you know, anybody to feel like there's something wrong with using text all the time and emailing and using the computer, but you do
very efficient.
It is very efficient, but you still sometimes lose that sense of a person-to-person contact that you don't forget, you know?
Yeah, I was reflecting on that the other day. A contact of mine, Amy Jacobson, did a radio interview about why does nobody answer the phone? And I thought, oh, wow, that's really interesting. And then I had to make a phone call that afternoon, and I felt myself, and I'm like such a brave person, I felt myself getting a little bit anxious before I made this cold call to somebody, because I just so hardly ever make phone calls these days. So I think we do get accustomed to hiding. So leaving a voice message for people that really shows your voice and it's really warm. You know, there's so often we're using, here in Australia, I don't know so much about the US, but it's a big thing to use VAs. You know, everybody's got virtual assistants. So they're, you know, they're going, okay, well, I'll either automate that, I'll get a chatbot, or I'll get a VA to do something. So when you've actually got the person, the head of the business, leaving your voice message, it's like, oh my gosh, I have been seen, you know? And so I think it's so important to make your clients feel seen, and also to create content. And creating content is really important, both in terms of attracting new clients, but also in reminding potential clients, so people you've already connected to or people who are in your second network, so they know people that you know, reminding them of what your expertise is. So in a way that's not advertising. I think a lot of content can be adverts or advertorials or humble brags. Look at us, we've won all these awards. And I think that doesn't really work. I think with content, I think content really should be sharing ideas and sharing information. You know, we get a dopamine hit every time we receive information. And we're so, you know, when you said we're hiding, gently, you said that very gently, you know, I think we're so used to constantly being online and constantly consuming so much information, and we're getting that dopamine hit every time we consume it. So when you see something that's an advertorial or an advert and it's pitching something to you, a little part of us goes, oh, you know, but when we've read something and we've learned something, then we're seeing that person as the expert. So I think content should really be reminding people of that expertise.
I agree completely. I really want to, I feel like you have so many great insights and so many great tips, especially because LinkedIn is really that's your space, Karen, right? So I know people are watching on Facebook right now, and we're going to have this replay playing, and people are going to see the title of the show and they're going to say, well, what is my profile missing? What is it that I'm not doing? Especially because many people hire LinkedIn coaches and consultants to help them. So I'm kind of thinking of how to phrase this question, but I think what I really want to ask, which is probably what the audience wants to know, is what are maybe 3 tips that you can give our audience who's watching tonight, 3 tips to help them generate the business that they're wanting and expecting on
Yeah.
LinkedIn? Is it maybe 3 things they can do to their profile that they think they're doing and they're not? Or is it 3 things
Oh,
maybe that
I
they
could
can
give
do
you
on LinkedIn? What do you
I
think?
could give you a lot of tips around improving profiles, but I have to say,
Mhm.
we've got people dialing in here from all over the world, but people who are in the US often have really amazing profiles. So instead of thinking about the little parts of your profiles and what you want to improve, let's look at the 3 differences, 3 things that would make the biggest difference to you. One is have a goal. Know why you're on LinkedIn. Now, let that question sit with you for a while, because a lot of people go, well, I know why I'm on LinkedIn, but actually they don't. I say to people, why are you on LinkedIn? They're like, well, because everybody else is. I'm like, no, that's not an answer. Oh, I want to get
Ah.
business. Okay, who do you want to get business from? Oh, everybody. No. So you need to be really niche in terms of, what's, or as you say in the US, niche, isn't that how you pronounce it there? So
Niche, yeah.
yeah, niche, sorry. So be very specific about what your goal is.
Mhm.
If I was in the US and I wanted to drive to your house, I couldn't just get in my car and say, take me to Marissa Morgan's house. I would need to plug in your address. And
Mhm.
very similarly, we need to go, who are the clients we want to attract, and being very specific in who they are and making sure that we've got that strategic goal front of mind. Now, that might be clients you want to attract, and I'm assuming that's most of the people who are dialing in today. But you may
Mhm.
also be on LinkedIn because you want talent attraction, or you want to retain your staff, or maybe you're looking for a new job. So, maybe you're a sales director and so you want to get clients, but your second priority is to get yourself a new role. Have those 2 ideas, or talent attraction, have those 2 ideas in mind and have a priority around them. So that would be my number 1 tip, and make sure you put that front of center. I also think it's really important to be accessible on LinkedIn. It amazes me how many times people don't put all of their contact information in the contact details section. And
That
they
seems so
don't go in.
simple, right? It seems like
Yeah,
the most simple thing.
and they don't. They also, a lot of people, you need to go into the back end. So you need to click on your settings. So click on you. So click on me, and then click on privacy and settings, and then click on visibility, and make sure that your contact details are visible to everybody. Yes, you will get spam, but you will also get a huge amount of clients contact you. You can also, in the privacy settings, change it so it doesn't have to be that nobody sees your contact details. You could say, I just want only my first connections to see it, or my first and second connections, people who know people I know. So you can actually set that.
I like
I
that.
also think
Okay.
it's really important throughout your profile. So in the bottom of your experience section, which is a sadly underutilized part of your profile, a lot of people just put the name of their title and they don't put anything in there. Have a description of what the business does. Have a description of what the business's values are, or the difference it delivers, or your part in that organization, and have
Mhm.
contact details in there. In your about section, also known as your summary section, I think it's really important to have contact details in there too. Now, you could put them at the bottom, or you could put them in the first couple of lines, so that everybody who's looking at your profile can see your email address. So
Mm.
think about what your goals are. And if your goals are I get a lot of clients who say, well, my goal is to drive views to my website because I've spent so much money on my website. I want to drive views to it. And
Right.
so they put their website address everywhere, but people are having to click too many times. So make sure you've also got your email address in there so that people can reach out and say, I am interested. If you want to put a mobile phone number in there, you could also put a 13, we use in Australia 1300 numbers. That's it'll go automatically through to whoever's online at that time. So it doesn't have to
Right.
go through to your mobile,
Right.
but just make sure that you're really accessible. I think those would be my 3 top tips.
Those are really great tips. So and when we talk about LinkedIn, everything you just said, Karen, and if you're just joining us, welcome to Digital Marketing Intelligence. This is Ask the Experts, and our expert today is Karen Tisdell, all the way from Australia. She is a LinkedIn profile extraordinaire, and she's sharing with us today these great tips on how to really amp up and achieve the business that you're expecting through LinkedIn. And by doing that, or by sharing these great tips, it just seems obvious to me. Do you remember back in school, and maybe I'm going off topic here, but do you remember back in school, Karen, there might be that student in class who always tries to finish the little test or the paper first and be the first one to run up and hand it to the teacher, right?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes that person was me, all right, growing up. Well, I would be so rushed to be the first one to get it done. Maybe it was like the bubble cards with the math or something because you were timed, right? And I would run up and I would hand it in. And the teacher, I wish I had a piece of paper, but the teacher, she would go like this. It's not done. And she would hand it back to me and I'd be like, it's done. All the answers are there. And she would say, Marissa, your name is not on this.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like everything that you just went through, and we'll go through those tips again. It's the exact same thing. People are just so pumped and excited to get on LinkedIn, to just be there, that they don't really take the time to fill out each section that is there for a reason and for a purpose. They just look it over and, oh, no, I'm there. Oh, I've got the picture. I've got a banner. I said I
Yeah.
worked at this company for these years. I'm there. But it's really
Yeah.
about completing it and having it be making you accessible.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your beautiful metaphor there, how many times do you read something that you wrote a while ago and you go back and you read it and you go, oh my gosh, I missed out this piece of information, or I've spelt that wrong, or, this point could have been expanded. So many people wrote their profiles years ago, and maybe they wrote it because they just cut and pasted it from their resume.
Yep.
And they've never looked at it since. I mean, they've looked at it, sure, but they've never looked at it with their strategic intent in mind. What's my goal? If I'm here to get business, am I actually talking to that? Am I actually looking at my profile from my customer's point of view? Or am I just looking at it from my own point of view? Like, do I look impressive to me? Does this look like my resume? If you're trying to get customers, it's a very different thing from trying to get a job, So, and I think to that point, a lot of people in writing it like a resume or having loaded it years ago like a resume, a lot of LinkedIn profiles, there's just, bragging upon bragging. Look at me, I'm so many LinkedIn profiles start off with, I am a senior executive with 25 years experience in, they all start the same. Now, if we were to meet at a party, Marissa, and I walk straight up to you and I say, hi, I'm this extraordinary LinkedIn profile writer, would you not start yawning and walk away?
I would literally be like, this is not who I want to party with. I don't care. I want to know what you do for fun. I want to know, if you have kids or a dog. I want to know things about you so that I can draw conclusions myself about if I want to hang out at this party with you. You know what I mean?
Or you actually don't even want to hear about me initially. You want me to ask you questions.
That's true.
You want me to be interested in you. So many LinkedIn profiles, it's let me tell you about myself. And when I pause for breath, then I want to hear what you think about me. Nobody likes that person. So instead of really positioning yourself as the hero, look at me, I'm so amazing, I'm extraordinary. And I love, profiles that do share your hobbies and in your interests, and they show who you are as a person. But before you get to that, focus on your customer. What are your customers' problems? What are their burning questions? Put that in your headline. Put that in your about section. Make sure that your LinkedIn profile is talking with your customer, not at your customer.
Really great points, Karen. I can see why you are so good at what you do. Oh my goodness. Just to recap some of the things that you shared, which seems so basic, but this is where we're at right now. The audience wants to know, how do they fix their LinkedIn? How do they get the business that they want? And the number one thing, Karen, that you said was make yourself accessible, right? And you can do that simply by having your email address, your cell phone contact information, setting up a different phone number that you're comfortable with people contacting you and having that on your page. And then
you could have a Calendly or something where people could book in for 10 minutes.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. And then also you said, take some time when it comes to describing the jobs and the companies that you've worked at or for, and actually put that information in there, not just your job title, but maybe what you did for the company, or maybe even, I think, what you learned during your
Yes.
experience there, right? Not just what you did and your title and what you can do, but what you've learned.
And what
Maybe,
you liked about it. Show
yes,
some emotion. Show emotion.
I
Show
love that.
enthusiasm.
I
Everybody
love that.
gravitates towards people with a growth mindset. Show what you loved and what you learned.
Great tips. Great tips. I am so sad that this show right now, we had some technical snafus. I'm going to ask you live on the air in front of the people that are watching. Karen, would you consider coming back to do another show with us? Because these have been great tips. And I know there's so many people out there who can learn from this. And there's nothing like a live show with comments and questions coming in. So will you forgive the LinkedIn technical issue tonight and join us again for a
Oh my gosh, if there's anything we've learned in the last year is, there's always going to be technical glitches. And if you
Mhm.
get all the technical stuff right, your cat's going to walk across the screen, right? There's going to be
Right,
something like that. Or your
right.
child will suddenly start making some noise. There's always going to be something going on. I would love to come back again because I actually had so many people message me and I
I
thought, oh my
know.
gosh, I wish I could have sent more of I should have sent it out to more people. So I would love to come back again. That would be fabulous.
Well, everything really is everything happens how it should. And I know that we had a lot of, we did a lot to make today's show happen, especially because we're in two totally different parts of the world. But how incredible is this that technology can connect us? And for those of you watching today on Facebook, if you have any questions that you'd like to drop in the comment section for Karen, please do so. And for those of you who maybe can hear us but not see us on LinkedIn, or I'm being told now people can see us on LinkedIn and not hear us. So it seems like there's just all kinds of wires crossing in the LinkedIn live pond. But either way, we really appreciate you all tuning in. Karen, I know that there's been a lot of change right now on LinkedIn, right? It seems like LinkedIn is really starting to add new features for their subscribers and their clients. Do you think that
Products
that's
page and creator, content creator, so much stuff going on. It's amazing.
exactly? Now, I know you said, for instance, the product page is very new to you. We were talking about that before the show. There's the LinkedIn Now, the cover story that gives people the chance to have a video on their actual profile photo. Do you think this is really a sign of the times to come, that, we really are in this digital era where people need to be ready to join the digital world, or kind of like go get ready to, you know,
Yeah.
take a back
It's
seat
because
to everybody
LinkedIn's
else?
got a new CEO. So, LinkedIn got a new CEO about 7, 8 months ago, Ryan Roslansky. He comes from a product background, Now, working for a company like Engage,
Mhm.
that when you work with people who really care about customer experience and their background is in product design and customer experience, you're going to see some changes.
That's
So,
like a match made in heaven.
yeah, I mean, the guy who's running LinkedIn now, I mean, he's the chap who revolutionized the real estate space. So, and said, why do we have to drive around? Why can't we just put this all on one website? I mean, he made that happen.
Wow.
So it's little surprise that we're seeing amazing changes on LinkedIn. What I'm struggling with as a LinkedIn trainer and LinkedIn coach is that they're all happening at once and I don't have
Mhm.
all the features. So I haven't been able to test the product pages. I think the video, the content creator video, I think that's really great for people who are creating content. But if you're not creating content, then actually I wonder if it's going to lose your connection. So yeah, there's so much going on there. So many new features to wrap our head around.
Well, this will be fun. We will definitely set a time to connect again. And if you're just tuning in and you missed our time together with Karen, or perhaps you've just watched this on a replay and you're thinking, wow, I know somebody who could benefit from these great tips that Karen shared on LinkedIn. You can definitely go to the Engage Facebook page to watch the replay. You can share this link with colleagues or friends. And of course, let's all tell our audience, Karen, how they can connect with you after the show. I think that's so incredibly important. If people want to connect with you, if people want help with their profile, is LinkedIn the best place to connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll pull up Karen's
Absolutely.
LinkedIn
Thank
up on
you.
the screen there, and you can screenshot that. Now, Karen, I know you mentioned you have an actual QR code for your LinkedIn, which I think is so incredible. But I was like, wait a minute, if people are watching this on their phones, they can't scan the QR code with their own phone. So I was like, we'll just put up the LinkedIn address. So if
Makes
you want to
sense.
connect with Karen after the show, if you want help with your profile, if you're not getting the business that you expect from LinkedIn and you're not getting the leads and you're not getting people to convert or try your products or your services, that's what Karen's expertise is. And certainly whether you're in Australia or here in the US, I'm sure Karen would love to take on new clients.
Mhm. You never have too many clients. I've also got a lot of free resources. I create content to answer people's questions. It's what I believe in. I believe in that everybody should be like a famous chef and just give away all your recipes, you know. People can go make the dishes at home, or if they've got the money to, they can come to the restaurant. So, you know, so if they connect with me, I've got tons of free resources I can send.
That's wonderful, Karen. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you back in the studio and I'm going to share with our audience our Engage news of the week. Any last things you want to share with the audience before I bid you farewell?
Just want to say thank you. Thank you, everybody, for turning up, and thank you for your patience with the tech difficulties. And I think you've been amazing, Marissa. So I hope we can do this again.
Absolutely, Karen. We will have you back. We will do another show. I don't know what we'll do, but we'll make sure it is on LinkedIn Live because we were so excited. And I know you've got a huge support fan base and followers who are looking forward to the show. So the show must go on and we made it happen. So we'll have the replay up. I see a comment just popped up. So let me make sure. Oh, Corrine just tuned in and she said, very nice show, ladies. So thank you so much, Corrine. I hope you found Karen's tips helpful. And another shout out to Achochi, who is watching as well on Facebook. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Don't go anywhere. The news of the week is coming up right now. Karen, thank you so much again. All right, guys, it's time for our Engage news of the week. Now, this week's news of the week is all about tools to help you have your profile stand out on Clubhouse. So the whole Clubhouse experience is very, very new. Everybody's hopping on Clubhouse to connect, and it really is a different platform. It's all audio based. However, there are great ways to make your Clubhouse profile stand out. I'm going to pop a link up on the screen. And this link comes to us from the Social Media Examiner. You can check out this link. It's a recent article posted by the Social Media Examiner, and you'll find many third-party Clubhouse app tools to help you not only create better bios, to manage events, track analytics, and more. So I'll leave the link up there for you. Make sure you give that a screenshot. And then when you have some time, go read that article and give your Clubhouse a little zhuzh. And perhaps some of the tips you learned today from LinkedIn, you can also go ahead and carry over to Clubhouse. All right, guys, I'm Marissa Morgan from Engage. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to one of our shows from this week. Don't forget, this is a bi-weekly show, so we bring 2 shows to you every single week here, usually on LinkedIn Live, although today there seemed to be a little bit of a loose wire. However, we are also on Facebook and on YouTube. If you missed out on the show or you're just tuning in and you want to watch the replay will be available on our Engage LinkedIn profile, also on our Facebook page as well. Our next show will be Monday, April 26th. And we'll be talking about how you can use copywriting to take your business to the next level. Our copywriter special guest will share tips and tricks to make that happen. That will be Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern, April 26th. On behalf of myself, Engage, LinkedIn, today, I don't know about you, and also Facebook, thank you so much for tuning in. And also, of course, on behalf of our guest, Karen Tisdell from Australia. Karen, again, thank you so much. Make sure you go connect with Karen on LinkedIn. You can also connect with me if you have any topic ideas or any sort of guest ideas for who you'd like to see on the show. Connect with me at Marissa Morgan on LinkedIn, or drop me an email at marissa.m@engage.com. And of course, don't forget to check out Engage on LinkedIn for great shows like today's, and of course, also information on our platform, which is all about optimizing the customer experience. You heard Karen say it. That's what it's all about. It's optimizing customer experience. And at Engage, we give you 25 plus free forever tools to help you optimize your customer experience. You guys, that's it for today. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Again, thank you so much, Karen. What a show it's been. I'm going to sign off for now, and we'll see you guys back here on Monday, where we're going to take copywriting into the Engage digital chat room and teach you ways to use copywriting to improve your business. See you next time.